So, hello friends, welcome back to Fenny for the Soul. So, we carry on with our series on endurance sport, but we are moving away from marathons and running and shifting gears a little to cycling because, my young friend from Margao, Joel Dias, who's on the screen. Hi, Joel, how are you?
Hi Rahul and hi everyone.
Yeah. So Joel has accomplished a very big achievement. Really, he recently, a few days back, he has completed 100 days of cycling 100 kilometers every single day. So just take a stock of this. Joel has been cycling 100 kilometers every day for 100 days in a row. So arguably, possibly, he's the only cyclist in Goa who's achieved this milestone. I don't think there's anyone who's taken up this challenge and actually executed it. So congratulations, Joel. As we say, valor, Joel. So they bade karo. So without much ado, I'm going to start very quickly on. Joel, tell us why you did this. What was the objective? What drove you to do this?
Okay, so to keep it very brief, I started my journey to cycle on the 15th of August of this year. Okay, it is something that I always was passionate about. I always wanted to start cycling, doing this 100 days of 100 kilometers since the past 3 years. So I have started and then I stopped and then I started and I stopped. So someone even said to me, Joel, how many times are you going to start and stop like this? But in my mind, I was very clear and determined that I'm going to do it someday. So this time in August, I given my bike for a complete service to Sarva at the service station, cycle service station. And Sarva did a fantastic job with the bike. So the moment I took the bike in my hand, it felt like new, brand new. So I felt like, this 3-year-old bike came back to life for me. So I said like, this is the best time. If I start now on 15th August, I'll finish somewhere by November. And that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to get into December because December comes and goes and it's all Christmassy, and traffic increases, and there's family all around, so you don't really get to go out. So counting all these things in mind, I said 15th August, this is the best time to start, and let's start and let's do this once and forever, because if not this year, then I'll never get a chance again. So I think this was one of the first motivational, the first step towards making up my mind.
But Joel, tell us why did you take up this challenge? That I want you to articulate. Why did you take up this grueling challenge? I mean, I know
Okay.
there are people who run 60 marathons in 60 days and all of that, but it's similar what you have done. So why did you do it?
I used to be a person who used to fall sick very often. I used to have an autoimmune disease, which used to make me, get things. I was someone weak, someone who was not capable of life and stuff like this. So many times people used to not choose me and all that, in circumstances and all. They would feel and such kind of things. So I don't blame them for it, but I was always waiting for an opportunity or for a chance to take up a challenge. And in my own little way, when I was young, I used to take up small challenges. So for me, this 100, the idea came to me when I did my first 100. When I did my first 100 with Shashti Riders, I thought, why not let's do 100 days of 100 kilometers. So every day doing 100 kilometers. And when I spoke to a few people, they said like, you must be crazy. It's not possible. But in my mind, I was very sure it's possible. So I set out to prove that it was possible, and it happened.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I must add here that Joel is part of this very interesting cycling group in Margao called Shashti Riders. It is very large group of very enthusiastic cyclists. So Joel, tell us one thing. Would you like to talk about your the health problem you had as a small boy, and how you feel now? Give us an idea, and how it has challenged you, with sport and life in general.
Sure, sure. Okay. So, for that matter, when I was young, when I was somewhere around the age of 1 years old, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, which is called nephrotic syndrome. Okay, so just to give you a brief idea about, not to get into technicalities about it, just to give a brief idea about it. This is an autoimmune disease which affects just 1 in a million people. There are about 20 to 30 variants of it, and I got, over the course of these 20 years, I got uh, 2 or 3 variants of it. I'm not sure exactly how many variants, because it keeps changing. And I was on medical steroids for this. Some of you might know what is prednisolone. I was on prednisolone for this, and for 20 years, for 25 years of my life, I was on this medication, on this tablets, until recently. And uh, and I'm currently being treated by Dr. Sheetal Lingade at Apollo Victor Hospital. So far, for this entire year, I have not had any relapse, and everything was going good. So not was, is going good. Okay, so because of this, this was one more motivation to me. Like I said, I now no relapses. Actually, I had no relapses for the past 2 years, so last year and this year. So I said, I think I'm improving this year, and that's a good sign. And my medication also is almost going to be stopped, like any this month or next month. And I said, like, this is the best time to start this challenge. So this is one thing that motivated me, because I think in the past I used to be sick, in the sense that I used to be admitted in hospital at least twice a year. And my hospital times were like at least 2 to 3 weeks in the hospital, just admitted. My parents went through a lot because of me, a lot of sacrifice on my family side at home. And of course, I, as a child, could not do the things that normal children would do. Like, I couldn't eat sweets and eat the things, normal things that kids would do. And most of the time, my holidays and my exam days is to go in hospitalization. So even my classmates know about my childhood. So that's about it.
Wow, wow. Thank you, Joel, for sharing this very personal health issue. And I purposely asked this question so as to motivate so many others who might have a health deficiency or a health problem, and how because somebody like you have overcome it with sport
Yes.
is a very positive sign. And yeah, you wanted to say something, Joel?
Rahul, I
Yeah,
just want to add one small disclaimer
please,
here, okay?
please.
I would advise anyone with medical ailments to not try what I had done, or not push your body to any limit until and unless you are, medically fit for it, or until you can, at least even before you go for a medical examination, you yourself should feel very confident about your body, about the way you feel. Because if you're on a very high dose of medication and all, I mean, and if it's not really possible, please don't push yourself to something like this, because there will always be time to do a challenge, or to take up a challenge like this. You should give yourself some time to heal. So it's something like that. Even in my life, I think, even though I wanted to train for this 3 years ago, and I started training for this 3 years ago, I gave myself some time to heal, and I actually had to wait in patience till the right time. So I would like to add this disclaimer: just wait till the right time, because it's very easy sometimes to watch a motivational talk like this, no? And many people who have been suffering through illnesses say, "I can do this, I can do this." But sometimes we need to learn to wait. We need to wait
That's
till
right.
the right time.
Absolutely. Thank you for that disclaimer, and sharing this important information. So I'm going to move to something about your teaching. Sorry, there is the dogs in my neighborhood have suddenly got very active. I'm so
That,
sorry about that. Yeah. Let me just show you this photograph. Yeah. So Joel, you have been a French teacher, and you have you are an active French teacher. Actually, you're a freelance French teacher, as you told me. And this is with the Rosary high school and junior college students in Naveli in South Goa. So tell us how much joy does teaching give you? I mean, is it equal to the joy that cycling gives?
any day. For me, it's more about the joy in spending time with youngsters who are our future tomorrow. And I think part of this comes from the love and patience that my teachers had with me. Because when I was young, when I was in school, I was a very slow student, slow to learning, and I was always full of dreams. So the teachers that I had, thankfully in Loyola, They always motivated me. They were there for me, and in days when I was not well, they always supported me. Like they always made sure that I was given the notes and all these things, and prepared, and I prepared well for exams. So in this way, these teachers in Loyola played an important role in shaping what a teacher I have become today. Especially, I would like to give a gratitude. I mean, a word of thanks to teacher Francisca Dicuna, the teacher who shaped my French side of the French career of mine, because she's a very strong woman, a woman of strong character. Reason being because when I was at my lowest, studying French, she was the one who motivated me and put in extra hours, to sit with me and train me up. Because on the last days of my days before the exam when I was supposed to fail, she's the one who sat with me and made me pass somehow. And it was because of that strong basics. Why I mentioned her name is because it was because of those strong basics I am where I am today. So that is one very important mention that I had to make. And then coming to the topic on students, I just love teaching because teaching is not just my passion, but it's more like I share a bond with every student that I teach. So even if any student is listening to me here, they would attest to the fact that we have a fantastic time together. So they, in fact, my students, they really look up to having a class. In fact, sometimes they don't mind missing other classes, but if there's a holiday from French class, they just really miss having a French class. So that's about it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So nice to hear that. From what you told me this afternoon, you are now freelancing, so you're teaching in not just Rosary Junior College, but you're taking tuitions through the day of both Goa State Board and CBSE students. So I wish you well for your future as a teacher. I wanted to, I'll show a small video that you shared with me, and then ask a question really. So I wanted to, by showing the video, I was coming to a question on. I know for a fact that you're very, religious, and which is a good thing. And tell us in the video also, you have, thanked the Lord and thanked God for giving, making this happen. The 100 kilometer rides, and that's a nice thing to do. Tell us about the influence of God and religion on your life, even from the time you told me about your junior college.
Okay, so actually, to be frank, to be honest with you, for a long time, I used to not believe in God. My parents used to tell me so many things about God, God, God. All through my childhood, I've been hearing things about God, because you must be knowing, and all of you in my audience, if you are listening to me from the point of view of a sick child, you must be knowing enough for the fact that how many times people talk about God when you're sick, so they relate everything, that go here, go there, you'll get healed, you'll get this, that, that. So I've been all these places, and the best part is I didn't find God in those places, but I found God in the peace of my heart, in the peace of my room, in the times when I was sick. I found God sitting there next to me, and how can I say this is because a lot of the things that I do today, God had already told me in those days that I should be getting up to this level, that I need to be training for something much more stronger than this. So today, if I could finish the cycling this 100 days of 100 kilometers, it is a big. It's not an achievement for me, but it is just a big step towards my future. It is something that God has actually accomplished in my life, because it is one of the things that He told me that I would achieve one day. Even in fact, even becoming a French teacher was not my desire. I just want to become just a simple entrepreneur or something, like just do simple business or something and come up something. But God saw something more worthwhile in me than I saw in myself. So he took me through giving simple tuition classes. By the way, I've been giving tuition classes for the past 8 years now. Okay, it was right from my college days that I started, and I don't know, supernaturally, it just happened that from giving tuitions, I just entered into into teaching, because my point was, my dream was, I'll teach for a little while, give tuitions, and I would start something on my own. Like I would start a business or start something. I was all about this. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have my own startup ideas and all these things. But God took me through a different journey, and in the start, I was wondering what is happening with my life. But but in the years that followed, I learned to submit myself, give myself to God and allow Him to shape the course of my life. So when I did that, it was a little dejecting, it was a little bit disappointing, but when I surrendered to Him, He took me to the place that you can see me where I am right now. It was a painful process, but it was worth it, I think.
Fantastic. So thank you for that explanation, Joel. Thank you very much. So what next? What is Joel Dias going to be doing next? What is the next challenge that you are going to, pose before yourself, either as a teacher or as a cyclist?
So from the point of view of cycling, I think I have just one more challenge that I want to take up, but I don't know how soon. It is a 24 hours cycling rally that I want to do for myself, like just by myself. I just want to ride 24 hours and see how many kilometers can I complete. So that is one of the things. And maybe next year I'll try and come back and beat my own record, 24 days.
Meaning beat this record of 100 days of 100 kilometers. Maybe do 125 days or something like that. That's what you're saying.
Maybe next year. and
Okay.
and I want to come back and do the 24 hours also, cycling, once again next year, probably. When I first I need to do the first one, and then do
Wonderful.
the yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, I wish you well, and may God be with you, and continue to, enjoy yourself as a French teacher and also as an endurance cyclist. So, thank you for giving us the time. Devare karo.
You too, Kai Borekuru, and wish you all in my audience, wish you all blessed life ahead. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening and participating in this session. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rahul, for this opportunity.
All the best, Joel. God bless.